Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Listen, really listen to these words from Charles Colson. America is different. It is a vision, a noble idea. And for that extraordinary difference, Americans should give thanks to God each day and pledge anew to do their duty out of gratitude to Him and to our founding fathers. Amen. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America. On a Wednesday, I need a patriot to call in with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning, good morning. And a good morning to you. I'm Zeb Bell. Zeb at the ranch on a Wednesday. Good morning with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations with a great big fall tire sale going on right now. And some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's go to the phone line. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, good morning, sir.
Are you the man?
I am.
All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Wheels. Good job as always. And right now, let's have the weather forecast brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Easy to find right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. You can't miss it. They've got all the tools and equipment to finish any construction project. They've got the tillers to get those gardens ripped up before the cold weather and the frost sets in. They've got all the compressors to blow out those sprinklers. Yeah, it's all there at K&R Rental with Roger and the crew on the Burley-Paul Highway. We'll have more right after this weather with Gina.
For some reason, it's not wanting to play this morning.
Evidently, I realize that. Can you get it fixed and call me and get it on the air here in just a second, please?
Will do, sir.
All right, thank you. Little difficulty there, and we're going to have that weather momentarily. And again, K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn. And the number to call Roger and the crew to find out more about all the great tools and equipment, 678-3122. Wheels, let me know the minute you get that weather forecast. Don't hesitate to let me know. And while we have just a moment also, I want to remind everybody about Ramsey Heating and Electric. Oh, my. They get there early in the morning, too, as a matter of fact, at 7:30 in the morning. Till 5, Monday through Friday. And they do have all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs right there at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, and they'll have your order waiting for you right near, on, or by the counter. And that's 678-0459. Again, it's not brag, it's a fact. All your heating, cooling, and electrical needs with very professional people. Ramsey Heating and Electric, over 6 decades of service to you. Really good people. This week is, of course, our Halloween lunch bunch, and it's going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow at 11:30 at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley. And we're going to have a costume contest. I'd like to see the faces on a lot of the people that are driving on Overland and then those that are out in the main room of Denny's when all these people walk in. We want to thank some really good folks that are donating some excellent prizes for our costume contest, and they include Stoats Equipment Company, your John Deere dealer, Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More with Jeff. Wonderful, wonderful, all your furniture and carpet needs. And don't forget to Tires West Les Schwab and Randy and the crew over there. Just wonderful prizes, and we really appreciate their involvement. And we're also going to say thank you to our gift certificate sponsors, and they include Walmart, Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, and Denny's. And all of this is going to take place tomorrow at 11:30 at America's Diner, Denny's restaurant. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, anytime, all the time. Great people serving you at Denny's restaurant. You come on over and join us tomorrow, but you can stop in anytime, like I said, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at Denny's restaurant. Yes, sir. Do you have the weather?
Yes, I was going to let you know that we got that fixed.
All right, let's have the weather real quick.
Expecting a day without rain showers. Here's a look at your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. Sunny skies for today. Expecting a high of 66. Winds out of the west-southwest right around 6 miles an hour tonight. Partly cloudy skies with a low of 38. Mostly sunny as we head on into tomorrow. High of 62. Partly cloudy for tomorrow night with a low of 39 by Friday. Mostly sunny skies. High of 66 Friday night. Partly cloudy with a low of 41 for Saturday. Mostly sunny 68. And Sunday mostly sunny and 68. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you very much. And again, that was brought to you by K&R Rental, our good friends on the Burley Paul Highway. In just a moment, I'm going to be talking about liars and phonies. And I'm going to name names. So stay tuned for that. We'll get that in just a moment. Jim Patrick, District 25 State Senator, says he wants to thank all the people that voted for him in the primaries, and he appreciates all the support. Jim is, of course, a farmer, a long-time farmer in southern Idaho, and absolutely knows that agriculture, a very, very important part of our economy in this great big state of Idaho. And he's encouraging everybody to get out and vote November 6th and know about the Propositions 1 and 2 and all the people that are running for election. Please go vote November 6th, paid for by Jim Patrick, District 25 Senator. And also our dear friend at District 27 State Representative Fred Wood. Yes, this man urges you to go vote on November 6th. No excuses. Circle it in red. Make it a highlight on your day planner and go vote on November 6th. It's very important, possibly one of the most important elections ever, and he urges you to really know and study Propositions 1 and 2, and, of course, all the people you're going to trip the lever for. So make sure you understand before you go to the voting booth, and vote November 6th, paid for by District 27 Representative Fred Wood. Calls are welcome and appreciated. And now back to the liars and the phonies. I was really thankful that this morning, early at 4:15 on Fox News, numerous tapes were brought forth that showed, depicted, and laid it out clear as a bell that Barack Obama, Harry Reid, Hillary Clinton, Chucky Schumer, and the rest of the Democrats are blatant liars. Back in the early 2000s, all of them and more absolutely demanded border security and no illegal aliens coming into this country. I'll say it again. All of them demanded border security and no illegal aliens coming into America. They're all on tape saying that. You don't belong here unless you come legally. And now, what a bunch of liars. What a bunch of charlatans. What a bunch of absolute, complete phonies the Democrats are. They have completely flipped to save their pathetic party of getting more votes. That's all it is. And they even said on a couple of occasions with these tapes that they were in favor of building a barrier wall on the border. Now they condemn the Trump administration. They come out and condemn people like me and others. Oh, you're a bigot and a hate monger. They came out and said it themselves. This current mess is all orchestrated by the left and the Democrats just before the fall November elections. And one of the groups supporting these illegal aliens coming in on this caravan is the group called, yeah, you probably are ahead of me, People Without Borders. And they're helping fund this chaos that's going to come up from the South. Calls are welcome. I'm just livid about this because they showed Harry Reid at the podium saying, no, you can't come in here unless you do things the legal way. No more illegal aliens, etc. They showed Barack Obama on many instances saying the same thing. Hillary Clinton, Chucky Schumer, and the rest. Liars and phonies. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Having it on tape, whether it's video or audio, of course this is video, absolutely solidifies the facts. Pretty hard to dispute the facts. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Caller, I'll be right there, thank you. With Nick Greenwell and all of the top-notch, first-class physical therapists serving you. Whether you've had an injury or whether you're recouping from a surgery or whether you're a high school football player, got dinged up making an end sweep, whatever the case might be, they can help you get back to being you. And also with that hydrotherapy pool, man, that is something. The only one of its kind in this area. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Here's the number. Make an appointment so they can help you get back to being you. 678-1191. Really excellent people. I guarantee it. Don't forget on Tuesdays every week at 9:46, of course, it's time for the Stoats Ag Minute. Stoats Equipment Company, your John Deere dealer at 119 Overland in Burley. And it's true, they make your life easier. Really, really good folks over there. And Vic's on the air with us at Stoats Equipment on Tuesdays. We look forward to it. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Thanks for your call. Caller, good morning. Wheels, get him on, please.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can now. Go ahead.
Yeah, Zeb. I've always thought that the Democratic Party was always pandering for votes, and somewhat the Republican Party is too, to a point. But it astounds me how many Democratic voters who are just puppets, and they don't realize it. They do not see that how much that their leadership jumps back and forth on an issue just to pander to voters, just to get the vote. And they never follow through with hardly anything other than making themselves richer.
That's right.
They never pass the buck back to their constituents. They never do anything that they say that will help the people that put them in office. The only thing they're after is to make sure that their pockets get lined with the green stuff so they don't have to worry about it. And the average Democratic voter, I don't know what their IQ is because it can't be that great. If you're voting somebody in who keeps taking from you and not giving back, that doesn't make common sense.
Well, Riley, I absolutely appreciate your comments, and I think you're spot on. If I would have come out this morning and said, well, they were for illegal aliens and they were for the border wall, I'm sure that I would get one of those nice little calls on my cell phone later today saying, I distorted it, I'm lying, etc. I saw the video. I listened to the video. I'm not making this up. I don't have to give any false information on this program. They did it to themselves because they are liars and phonies.
And it goes both ways, but I mostly see it on the Democratic side. They will say whatever, and it like I said before, it astonishes me how the voters who vote for these people do not see that they are a pawn on a chessboard. And pawns, from what I understand from chess, are expendable.
I agree with you.
They
And
get where they want to go.
very well put, Riley. God bless you for your call this morning. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think he's spot on with what he said. I mean, listening to Harry Reid, that man, I'm so glad he's gone as a figurehead on the news. He was one of the most... I don't know. Every time I looked at him, I got mad. Every time I sat and watched the news and he was on there with that milky toast voice, oh, that's what he sounded like. It just frustrated me. And to hear him up at the podium saying, illegal aliens, we have to stop them. You don't belong here unless you come here legally. And, of course, we need a border wall. And now, all the music has changed and the lyrics to the song have changed to fit their needs of pandering for more votes for their Democratic Party. How absolutely disgusting. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Please give me a call. I'd like to hear from you. We need to speak out. This election is, 12, 13 days away? Good heavens, folks, we've got to get to the polls. I don't want to be under the jurisdiction or under the thumb of someone like Schumer and Pelosi and Feinstein, complete crass people that I have no respect for. I don't think you want to either. Caller, I'll be right there. Don't forget, Speaker of the House and District 27 State Representative Scott Bedke urges you to go vote on November 6th. And also, we have a great choice for governor, and that is Brad Little for governor. Remember that. Scott Bedke, of course, has been Speaker of the House since 2012, and he absolutely wants you to take the time and the effort to be a good, solid American and go vote on November 6th. Paid for by Scott Bedke, District 27 Representative. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. When is a lie a lie?
When it's not the truth.
Oh, okay. What about, like, in this contest we got coming up, if you stretched it just a little bit, would that be acceptable?
No, wait a minute, Keith. I told you, I don't want to get into the costume contest or anything. I'm talking about immigration right now. So tie that together.
I know, but I just wanted to, the point I'm trying to make is these people say that was acceptable then, but now they're proven to be just outright lies.
They're proven to be...
Same thing.
They're proven to be liars and phonies both, because they came out, the words ran right out of their mouths when they were on the House floor and the Senate floor. For heaven's sakes, I can't make this stuff up. Oh, well, they had an epiphany. Oh, well, they had a great big realization that they were wrong. No, they didn't. They're just pandering because right now they want to get the illegal aliens into this country, distort and absolutely change the electoral districts. They want everything in their favor. They are a bunch of phonies and liars.
Now, that's the truth, if I've ever heard it. Just what you said. And it's a shame that we have tapes and everything of all these things people do, and don't they think they're going to be caught red-handed?
They're right there. Stop. That is absolutely one of the points that needs to be elaborated on. You're 1,000% right. I don't know where these nincompoops get off thinking, oh, well, gee, somebody might have made a tape of this back in 2003 or 2005 or 2011. Oh, golly, if I say this, they might find it. Well, yeah, they're going to find it because people are looking for it. They're a bunch of nincompoops that forget all the stupid things they said.
Yeah, we know that they dig back 30, 40 years for some dirt to put on somebody, and don't they think these chickens are going to come home to roost?
Let me tell you, they got a lot of eggs in their front yard because the chickens are there. Keith, I got to run. Thank you.
You bet. Bye.
All right, good. Very good point. I appreciate that, Keith. Hey, caller, I'll be right there, I promise. I want to tell everybody about Sophie's Chatterbox at 530 East Street in Rupert, right on the square. Every Monday, we give away a dozen cookies to Sophie's Chatterbox if you can answer the trivia contest. And don't forget, they've got an outstanding restaurant, too. Oh, knock your socks off delicious. Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street in Rupert. Really good, folks. Hey, and by the way, too, don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric, along with Lennox products, can help keep you comfortable. That's right, and save you money. Listen. Ramsey Heating and Electric offering up to $1,600 in rebates on qualifying equipment purchases. All you need to do is check it out, 678-0459. Call Ramsey's today. Just another way to make you feel better. Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox. Over 60 years at Ramsey Heating and Electric of serving you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
I never thought I'd ever say this, but I 100% agree with President Obama.
All right, go ahead.
When he was saying you cannot come into this country illegally.
You know, did you see that?
Yes.
You did see that?
For a while, yes.
Okay, but they had a complete montage early this morning of everybody like Schumer and Hillary Clinton, Harry Reid, Barack Obama, all of them saying, and the various years that they said it and everything. And then all of a sudden, evidently there was a bolt of lightning from the heavens above, and it touched the Democrats all on the forehead, and they said, oh, we've got to have open borders, everybody come in.
Yeah. They got the email that says, "Oh, we're open borders now. We can't talk bad against these." But I'm with Dan Bongino. He has stated that we need to ask every Democrat, "Where do you stand on this caravan?"
Absolutely, absolutely, positively.
Get them on the record stating where they stand on these people wanting to invade our country.
You know, Doug. I'm so upset about this, and it's not theatrics with me. I mean, I watched intently last night with my lovely bride, and we both started picking apart when they were showing the walkers, the caravan. It was hard, very hard and difficult to find any women with their children in that caravan. I mean, most of the film clips, what did you see? Young men, 18 to 30 plus, walking, and honestly, I have no sympathy. No, and carrying their country's flag that they're leaving and burning the American flag on the way. And did you notice at their so-called little bitty campsite, which entertained thousands, the complete litter and garbage and disdain for picking up after themselves?
Exactly. That's their lifestyle down there, and they're not coming up here to assimilate to become Americans. They're coming up here to bring their problems with them.
Yeah.
And live like they do down there.
Did you happen to hear, and I don't know if you had a chance, but I came in the house yesterday from doing chores, turned on the television, and it hit me at the wrong time because I almost took off one of my boots and sailed it through my TV. Juan Williams, black commentator on Fox, saying that President Trump is just fear-mongering. He's making this caravan problem bigger than it is, and Williams called it hatred of immigrants. And when he said that, honestly, yours truly on crutches, jumped up, ran around the house, beat my fist into the wall, and then I remembered I'm on crutches and I had an accident.
Yeah, they get their email, their talking points, and that's all they do.
Yeah.
You listen to any one of the liberals that they put on Fox so they can be fair and balanced, every one of them says about exactly the same thing.
I was so upset.
You listen to the nightly news on their deals. Every lead into a story is virtually within one or two words of exactly the other station.
Hey, you want to have a little fun with me? Seriously, and your wife, my wife, and you and I, and anybody else we can get to go with us, okay?
Okay.
Let's start a reverse thinking caravan. Here's what we're going to do. I thought about this last night. You and I are going to start today, and we're going to try to get hundreds at first and maybe thousands, and we're all going to storm the Canadian border and see if they'll stop us.
Yeah, and then we can meet together up all those liberals that were wanting to leave and say, hey, come on, join us. We're going to Canada.
I don't think we're going to get far across the border. I've been up to Canada many, many, many times, and I'll tell you what, if all of a sudden we're standing there saying, we're going to tear apart these barricades and come into Canada and you can't stop us, and I'll bet you what, Doug, they will.
I bet they pull out something that throws a bunch of lead at a real fast pace.
Yeah, the reverse psychology, we ought to try that just to make sure the experiment is equal to what they're doing on the southern border.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's a sad deal, and it is being financed. And also heard, too, I'm not sure if it's fact, I'm sure it is. Well, it come on Fox, and the guy that mentioned it was pretty credible, that Venezuela is helping finance some of this.
I heard some of that too, and I have no verification on it. Unless I verify a story, I don't put it on, but I did hear some of that rumor.
Yes. Yeah, so if someone out there listening can verify this,
yeah.
Give us an area where we can go and find it.
Well, let's all get a caravan together and storm Canada. We'll go up to Lethbridge on their golf course. They got a beautiful golf course, and we'll sit in the lounge and just enjoy everything, and they can't stop us.
Now, can we do this probably about next June or July?
Oh, yeah.
In Canada?
Oh, yeah, and be sure and have your club strapped over your shoulder so that they know you're honest about needing to play golf at Lethbridge.
There you go.
There you go. Okay. Thanks, Doug.
Buddy, let's do what we can for our seniors. Let's rent their facilities, donate to them, put them in a card underneath your Christmas tree and deliver it to them.
There you go. Doug, thank you so much. Thank you. Caller, I'll be right with you. Don't forget Legislative District 27 State Senator, our friend, your friend, Kelly Anthon. He is very honored to represent the Mini-Cash area, and he stands up for conservative principles and voting to protect Idaho values. He knows that agriculture is excellent for the state of Idaho. He knows that absolutely this is a state that has conservative values, and they really care about each other. He urges you to study the propositions and study the people and go vote on November 6th. Remember, Kelly Anthon, Legislative District 27 State Senator, paying for this ad on Zeb at the Ranch. Thank you very much. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, good morning, Mr. Bell.
How are you?
Well, I'm kind of agitated like you are. You know, I get tired of turning on the TV and seeing all these marchers trying to come through. Why don't these young men or whatever they are stay in their own dadgum country and fight for their freedoms instead of trying to come into our country and not even try to assimilate? They're not going to assimilate. They're going to bring their garbage with them, and we have to pay for it.
Donna, you've heard this so many times. I'm really glad you brought this aspect up. But how many times on the news, especially the liberal news media, whether it's Channel 11 with their silly CBS News or the network news from CBS or ABC, whatever it might be. And one of the key things that these people connected to the caravan say is this. We want what you have. They always say that. They want what Americans have. Now, that's all well and good. But my question to you is, Donna, have you ever heard anybody say, we want to work for what Americans have?
No, because it's advertised that if you come to America, you get free housing, free health care, free food.
Bingo.
You don't have to lift a finger to do anything. And so the liberals want all these people in here because they're going to let them vote.
That's right.
Now, I don't know how idiotic that sounds to everybody else, but to me it sounds like, oh boy, if the Republicans don't get their heads out of their wheres.
I'm scared to ask. Please don't pursue that thought.
I was watching it, and the little guy over there at the station has his finger on the bleep button.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just angers me to think that all these people coming from other countries, if it's so bad, why don't they stand up and fight for their freedoms in their country?
Amen. But, you know, the words that they say, and I heard it 3 times last night by various commentators and also an interview with one of the marchers. We want what Americans have. Well, wait a minute. Stop right there. Let's be definitive. You want it. And you want us to give it to you, but are you willing to work for it, sacrifice for it, like our forefathers and our uncles and cousins and dads and mothers and everybody else did, give their blood, sweat, and tears for it? No, we want what you have. I don't like that attitude.
I don't either, because it's like you and I are paying for it.
That's right.
You and I are out there working our rumps off, and these people come in, and they got their hands out as soon as they hit the wall at the border. And, you know, I think Trump is smart to say that he's going to put the military on the borders, but I do not advocate violence at all. But if they shoot 1 or 2 of those wannabe men coming across, you know, they'll think twice before they come again.
Well, this is a comment, and I got to be really careful here, and you can understand why, Donna. I mean, I'm not advocating violence or anything else, but this is something that was said nationally on the news last night I saw it and heard it on 3 different stations by 3 different individuals. And so we're not saying anything out of line, but I will say this. I think that, honestly, the imposing figure of our military on the border and saying to these people, look, you can come up and rant and rave, pound your chest and stomp your feet and say you're coming in, but we are going to stop you. I'm going to leave it at that, because I think the military saying we are going to stop you, let it go at that. That undermines everything our Constitution says. When we have a public invasion, which that would be a public invasion, our military has the right to protect us and our country.
You betcha. You know, and like I said, I think it's a good idea, and you and I are kind of on the same page on this. I don't advocate violence either. But, you know, if somebody was to break into my home, that's called an invasion.
That's right.
Do you think I'm just going to sit there and offer them a cup of tea and a cupcake?
Not unless you got a 357 in the other hand. Listen, Don, I got to run, but thank you so much. There you go, Donna. Thank you so much.
Hey, have a great day.
All right, thank you. Go wake George up. All right.
I'm not gonna.
Okay, listen, caller number 2, I'll be right there, I promise. Berry Equipment and Rental, I just absolutely think the world of these folks over there. They're good people serving you, sales, service, and parts on all the equipment you need, whether you need equipment rentals or retail equipment sales. You know, we keep telling you they've got all the skid steers, and they got the compact track loaders, they got the mini excavators, they've got everything over there, and the knowledge too. If you don't know how to run the equipment, they'll teach you. They got a big sandbox out behind their location at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley with Juan, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls with Eli, and the Nampa location. Berry Equipment and Rental, you get a hold of those good folks today. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. I also want to say, and I really urge you, if you have animals and they have a health problem, maybe they're kind of down in the mouth or whatever, hey, don't wait. Call Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn, 678-1177. They are a mixed animal practice, meaning big or small. They take care of them all. They want you to have healthy animals. Dr. Bill, Dr. Jordan, the whole staff, Ark Animal Hospital in Heyburn. That number again, 678-1177. They do have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Caller, thank you. Go ahead, please.
Well, I had one thought, and 2 more came to me while you were talking to the other person. One of them is, if you turn off the spigot, there isn't going to be anybody come to drink, right?
Right.
Okay, the second one is, they're saying, we want what they have. Well, I have a job. I have a love for my country. I have a love for my flag. I have a love for my national anthem. So start there, dudes.
You know,
the third thing is Go ahead.
No, you made tears well up in my eyes while you were saying that.
Mine too.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm not ashamed of it. I love the way you said that.
Oh yeah, because they're waving their own flags. But anyway, and then if the Democrats are so in love with this quote unquote caravan, I think we can find enough Democratic mayors, federal and state representatives, House members, senators, governors, that we could take and divide that 7,000 and give them each about 50. And you are responsible for them. If they commit a crime, it's just like if your child commits a crime, the parents are in trouble.
Yep.
If they do anything wrong, you're to blame, and you go to jail right along with them.
They would be so-called sponsors of that illegal alien, and if that person steps out of line, there's going to be a whole bunch of trouble in River City.
Yeah, well, no, you're not sponsors. You're just like a foster child.
There you go.
His foster parents are on the hook for what their foster kids do.
Yep. You know the line, though, that they said, and you've heard it, I know you have, oh, well, we want what you have. That just infuriates me. It's like pouring sandpaper on a wound to me, because if you want what we have, work for it. If you want what we have, maybe go down and force your government with a loud round of opposition against what they're doing and all the illegalities and the mishandling of money, our money that goes there in foreign aid. Don't come up here and tell me you want what I have. Get your butt to work and earn it.
I want what they want. I want to be able to sit on my butt and collect free. No, not really. I don't. That's not my nature. That's not who I am. But they're saying, I want what. Well, fine. You come tag me for a day and see if this is really what you want.
I don't know. I think I know you well enough on the phone that you're going to agree with this, that the milk of human kindness. I went to the refrigerator yesterday, and good heavens, that gallon is dry. I am absolutely adamant that I'm sick and tired of the leeching that's going on in our society, to where we, the taxpayers, are said, oh, come on, you're wealthy, you're rich, you're a rich country, you can support this, you can pay for this. I don't know about you, lady, but I'm sick and tired of having my billfold pilfered by hands that are not mine.
Yeah, and if we're such a rich country, I don't know if you saw it, but somebody was driving down along the road on all the tent cities and all the people laying there and homeless. He says, no, this is not Mexico or Honduras. This is on the highway down to San Diego.
Yeah.
These are our people. These are our citizens, and we need to be taking care of them.
Absolutely.
And I don't mind giving a handout when it's needed, but I sure don't like a handout when they're just trying to suck the well dry.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you for calling very much. Thanks. God bless. Nice lady right there. Okay, I got to tell you about a sale, and then I got to do the weather. Caller, if you're hanging on the line, stay on the line. I'll be right there, I promise. I got to tell everybody about the Bennett Boys Auction Service. Great, big sale coming up this Saturday, October 27th at 10 a.m. It's the Four Brothers Inventory Reduction Auction, located in Shoshone at 420 North, 250 West. From Johnny's Country Store, go west for 4 miles, parking in the field. Look for the signs, lunch by the Cook Shack, all kinds of loaders and tractors and trucks and fire trucks and pickups and livestock items, farm equipment, ATVs, farm miscellaneous items. This is going to be a big sale. Four Brothers Inventory Reduction Auction this Saturday, October 27th, starting at 10 a.m. over by Shoshone, managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, yep, they sell them all. Right now, the weather, and the weather this hour is brought to you by our dear friends at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. They are right behind the Minidoka Hospital and across from the emergency room. They are getting bigger and expanding, adding more great doctors, like Dr. Shane Hunsaker has been welcomed into the fold with Dr. Pickup and Dr. Mitchell. They care. They really care about your hearing health. Please get a hold of them today for a hearing screening appointment at 312-0957. I'll repeat, 312-0957. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Expect expecting a day without rain showers. Here's a look at your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. Sunny skies for today, expecting a high of 66. Winds out of the west-southwest right around 6 miles an hour tonight. Partly cloudy skies with a low of 38. Mostly sunny as we head on into tomorrow. High of 62. Partly cloudy for tomorrow night with a low of 39 by Friday. Mostly sunny skies, high of 66 Friday night. Partly cloudy with a low of 41 for Saturday. Mostly sunny, 68. And Sunday, mostly sunny and 68. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
I appreciate it, Gina. She does a great job. And again, I want to urge you, if you're noticing any diminishment in your hearing, please get a hold of them today at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. They are excellent. I know they help me. They can help you. Number to call for an appointment, 312-0957. Caller, if you're still there, please, you are on the air. Go ahead.
Good morning. That must be my turn.
I hope so, yummy man. How are you?
Well, I'm terrific, and you sound better than that.
What's going on?
We're going to have lasagna at the Senior Center on South Overland, and we'll have some mixed vegetables, and Debbie and Shirley's choice for dessert. It's going to be great. Everybody's welcome. Takeouts are available.
All right, now, Joe, have they named a yummy dessert after you? You've done all this work in promoting the Senior Junction. Have they named a once-a-week Joe Taylor special yummy dessert?
Not yet, because it's a hard choice. I like all kinds of dessert.
Well, I think from now on, they ought to have a banner hanging over the front door that says, "Welcome to the Yummy Parlor, Mr. Joe Taylor."
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, Joe. God bless you, man. Thank you.
If anybody wants a takeout meal, to call before 12 and come pick up your meal. All you can eat.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Senior Junction on Overland with my dear friend Joe Taylor. You want to hear something that's so frustrating right now is that they did another little montage of some of the foolishness that Democrats say, like Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, and Bernie Sanders and others. Free! Everything's free! Why, we're going to have free college. No tuition, it's all free. Why, we're going to have free children's savings accounts. That's what Cory Booker was saying. Free health care. Oh, boy, this is the land of opportunity with us Democrats. It's free! No, it's not. That is such a blatant lie that was started and perpetrated by wild-haired Bernie Sanders that I think has the combined IQ of a stone. And this free... Cory Booker came out and said, why, we're going to provide free children's savings accounts. Isn't that great? You liar. Somebody, somewhere, oh, gee, guess who, is going to foot the bill. Yep, you and me. There is no such thing as free. The government gets their money from us'uns, if there is such a word as that, and then they say free. Well, Cory Booker is absolutely, he's out of his mind. All he wants to do is keep his hat in the ring to possibly be a Democratic nominee for president. God help us all. The same for Kamala Harris. And please don't tell me that wild-haired Bernie... Somebody buy him a comb. Please. We ought to have Bernie Comb Day. I've never seen him with his hair combed. He always looks so disheveled. He looks like a wreck. But free. Where do they get off telling you on these different news clips, it's gonna be free? That is nauseating. And it's an outright, blatant lie. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget Dino's Septic Service. And, boy, if you need some pumping done, you better get it now before the ground freezes, for obvious reasons. Don't forget septic tanks pumped and septic tanks and drain fields installed, backhoe service, liquid waste removal. Listen, they've expanded their business recently to better serve all the areas. So please get a hold of them today. They absolutely can and will help you with fast, fair, friendly service. Dino's Septic Service, and the number 436-6526, or in Burley, 678-1638. Absolutely the best at what they do. Dino's Septic Service, with the big truck that says, smells cargo on the way. Dino's Septic Service. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Hey, just one question. Can the government go to the print store and shop and have a bunch of receipt books made up with Bernie and all the rest of that crappy bunch, excuse my French, and then deliver them out whenever, have them just deliver them out with their money and pay for all this stuff?
Well, you know, I don't ever put it past what the liberals and the Democrats will do or want to do. But when you start throwing the word free out, there is no free lunch. There is no free clothing. There is no free...
Not them, not our money.
Yeah.
Their money in their pockets to give out.
You know, I'm sick. I don't know about you, lady, but I'm sick and tired of everybody coming out like Booker and Harris and Bernie Sanders and saying free, 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 because that means I'd better really staple my Wrangler pocket shut because somebody's going to try to steal my billfold.
No, I don't want them to get my... I like to give, if you need something, I only have a little, or I have enough of my own, and if you need something, I'll help you, or anybody. But no, I don't want anybody to get it for free when they don't deserve it. But it's not our money that they're going to put in this money. It's going to come out of their bankroll.
Yeah. Which
you get those receipts already out of their bankroll and make them pay every Friday. They turn into the government or whoever it is and pay for all the men that are going to be serving on that border, what do you call them, all of them?
The caravan, yeah. You know, your thought your thoughts are well-intentioned and really kind of interesting, but I'll tell you what, anytime you think that Bernie Sanders or Kamala Harris or any of that ilk are going to do anything that would ever cost them money, ain't going to happen, sweetie. Never.
Yeah, but they need, if they can't pay up every Friday night, then they just should go to jail like the rest of the bad people.
Okay. I got to run, but I love your idea. Thank you.
That was just my idea.
I appreciate it. I got to do a commercial quick. I'll be right with you. Thank you very, very much for your call. More calls are appreciated. I got to get this in real quick. Wheels, old buddy, old pard. How about this word for Proposition 1?
It's an Idaho tradition going back generations. Horse racing. And Proposition 1 will bring it back. Yes, on Proposition 1. It's all about Idaho, creating hundreds of local jobs, restoring millions of dollars to local classrooms, all with full transparency and real accountability. And the Idahoans sponsoring Prop 1 are doing even more, donating 100% of net profits from their horse racing operations to a new charitable foundation, the Treasure Valley Racing Foundation for Rural Idaho, dedicated to supporting education, scholarships, healthcare, and economic initiatives, serving rural families and communities all across our state, supporting programs like 4-H and FFA, and providing financial assistance to students pursuing degrees in areas like agriculture and animal science. Yes, on Proposition 1, the campaign with a heart for Idaho. Paid for by the Committee to Save Idaho Horse Racing, Create Jobs, and Fund Public Schools.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I hope you do vote yes on Proposition 1. Why in the world, simply put, and real quick, why should the Indian tribes have a monopoly on the gambling and the gaming? Why? Why? And all we want to do is restore the horse industry and parimutuel racing here in the state of Idaho. Bring back the horse industry. I'm sick and tired of certain groups having monopolization and control. And that's basically what's happening right now. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Center's great big fall tire sale. Right now, you can go in there with your car, your pickup, your SUV, your trailers, whatever, and many of the tires are on sale. Oh, the different tread designs, all the sizes. All you have to do is stop in and see these folks today. And also, the best in brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries. I urge you every day, because this weather all of a sudden is going to go bloop right down to cold, and you're going to go out in the morning early and turn the key, and you're not going to have a thing. Make sure you check your battery. If you need a new one, they've got the best at all 7 locations. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. We're going to take a little break right now for about 7 minutes and have the news. We're going to come back with Indianapolis, Indiana, Dave Bigo, and then we're going to be talking about Lady Gaga at 9:30 with Karen Cataline. A very interesting lady, a very nice lady. So we've got a lot of things coming up in the next hour. Don't you miss it. Zeb at the Ranch. Wheels, take it away. I'm pretty proud of that Kimberly bunch, because my grandson starts on the varsity football team, and they've done an outstanding job this year. Got to brag on them. That's my oldest grandson right there. Hey, don't forget, Zeb at the Ranch brought to you by our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations with a great big fall tire sale going on right now. Stop in and see them today. And also some of our great advertisers, like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, this good word for our friends at Western Way Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Way Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Way Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal.
Western Way Services, you know, the garbage pickup and the dumpsters, but also don't forget they've got the Go Minis, portable storage units. I mean, you can have one brought to your location, fill it up, and then, of course, lock the door, and you can store it there, or they'll store it on their property. The Go Minis with Western Way Services. Call today and find out more. They are always at your disposal. Call the number 734-6969. Want to remind you, tomorrow on Thursday at 9:17, of course, we learn more about the dedicated medical experts serving you at Cassia Regional Hospital. Yes, sirree, your friends, your neighbors, Cassia Regional Hospital, quality care close to home, and they'll be on the program tomorrow morning at 9:17. Don't forget that. Real quick, before we go to our guest, I want to remind you, too, about a dear, dear friend of ours, and that's Jim Patrick. And he is District 25 State Senator, and he thanks all the people that have supported him, and he appreciates all that support as he, in turn, really helps all of his constituents here in the state of Idaho. He's a farmer. He understands agriculture and the great big economic boost it is for Idaho's economy, and he also wants to encourage everybody to get out and vote November 6th. Propositions 1 and 2 are very important. Know and understand before you go to the polls on November 6th. Paid for by Jim Patrick, District 25 Senator. Really, really good guy. One final word. We're busier than a one-arm paper hanger here this morning. Don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley with the Lennox products that help keep you comfortable and save you money. Don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric offering up to $1,600 in rebates on qualifying equipment purchases. I choked to death. I'm going to say it again. Qualifying equipment purchases. All you need to do is find out more. 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric, over 6 decades of serving you at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Woo! Take it away, my buddy Dave Bigo back in Indianapolis, Indiana. How are you?
I'm doing good, Zeb. How you doing?
Out of air. David, I really appreciate our weekly visits. You have somewhat of a calming effect on me most of the time, but you're not going to calm me down over this issue with the caravan headed to our border, with the pugnacious attitude of these people saying, we're coming in, you can't stop us, and we're going to live in America. And then another caravan is forming right now, I believe in El Salvador, with the same pugnacious attitude. I don't know your thoughts on this, but I say stop them and turn them back.
Well, I agree with Trump and some of the people in his administration are saying that, we got to put the military on the border, and that's what we need to do now. And, I wrote about that in a blog several years ago that, that's how you stop them, because even if you build a wall, the problem is they can dig tunnels under the walls, and it's hard to find them at times. But you put our military there, they're going to see things going on, because they're going to be looking on both sides of the border, for a long way, and to observe what's going on. And I think we need to do that, because we've got the best military in the world.
Absolutely.
And, and as far as these caravans, they're not even going to make it to the border here by the election. All this is to get people fired up, the Democrats are, and try and vote against Trump, that, he's a dictator, he doesn't care about people, and, he's a bad man and all that kind of stuff. And, they're paying these people to do this stuff, and it's the exact same tactics that the SEIU used against us.
Yep. Wheels, I need you to turn Mr. Beagle up when he's talking just a little bit, if you would, please. Dave, the phoniness, and I'm going to be blunt, that's the only way I know how to be, the lying that has taken place in the Democrats from Obama, Harry Reid, Hillary, and Schumer. I saw the montage this morning of each of them standing at their podiums back in 2001, 2003, 2005, 2009. All of them have videotapes of them saying you don't belong here unless you come here legally, and 2 of the 4 I mentioned absolutely advocated building a wall. Now they have flip-flopped, now they've become liars, and they're disavowing everything that they stood for years ago.
This is what they do. They talk out of both sides of their mouth, and I've seen it, and I had breakfast with a guy this morning. We were talking about it, and again, I told him, referring back to my book, because he had read my book, and I said, you look at the tactics, and all these tactics, and the agenda, and what they say and don't say, and what they do and what they don't do, are all the same things they used against us. And he says, yeah, Dave, you're exactly right. And I said, well, when you look at it, and you look at who's all involved in this far left-wing progressive movement, Soros and the SEIU, who, they've been hand in hand for years. They used to share the same offices together. SEIU did with Soros's Acorn Group, and these people want to bring down this country. It's pure and simple. You make us all about the same, it's easy to control us, and that's what they want to do.
I said facetiously in the last hour, and I want you to respond to this, but I was saying it in a humorous way, but it's really true. If you and I and others all of a sudden decided we're going to start a caravan and we're going to storm the Canadian border, how far do you think we'd get?
Not very far. And, that's the thing. It's do as I say, not as I do, and these people are just, and most of them have been, bought and paid for and brainwashed. And, when you look at all of these Democratic people in the House and the Senate, and they're out there doing these things because they're being told to do it by the progressive left.
But the seriousness of this issue, I'm not going to dismiss it. I'm not just going to minimize it, because if these people, or even a certain number of these people, come up to our border with the pugnacious attitude of poking us in the chest and saying, America, we're coming in and you can't stop us, this problem, fed and fueled by the Democrats, could escalate to a major problem, right or wrong?
Well, it could, and the Democrats, and of course we'll see where this whole thing goes with the with the elections, but the Democrats and the progressive. It's not so much the Democrats. Like I've told you before, I've met a lot of Democrats I know, and they're good people, and they are just they're at the point they're tired of the far left progressiveness, and but the far left progressiveness, they would just as soon have a civil war in this country, and that's what all these things are all about, and that's why they're buying people to do these things and telling them what to say, and then I mean. You know, when they've interviewed some of these people, they really don't even know why they're in the caravan.
That's true. That's true. We have a caller, and I want to have you respond to just one more quick thing before we take the caller. One of the key phrases that when they interview these migrants illegally coming up to our border, they say, well, we want what you Americans have. Now, they didn't say that we want to work for what you Americans have. They say we want what you have. It's almost like we want to come in, take it, you pay for it, or here you can't do a thing about it.
Yep, that's the far left's social justice equity thing, and you know, they're out there telling these people things, and you know, when they ran rallies in the streets of all the major cities across the Midwest against us, and we talked to some of the people. They said things like that too. You know, we want this and that, and we want, you know, all that. And you know, we asked them, where did you learn this at? Well, this is what they told us to say.
It figures. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, you know, they want to come up here and they want to take advantage of us. And if they were allowed to do this, you know, en masse, they would destroy the very thing that they think that we have that they want. And so I just can't believe what the deal is. Hey, listen, something's just come up and I got to go. I'll hang up.
All right. Dave, respond to the caller again, if you would, please.
Well, it's exactly what we're talking about, you know, and this is what this is all about. And, you know, and again, I mean, they're still, what, about 1,000 miles away.
Yeah.
I mean, they won't even get here by the elections. All this is designed just to stir up voters for the Democratic Party for the election.
I got to ask you.
That's sad when people have to go to this type of agenda to try and get elected.
Absolutely.
And, that's why, at the end of the day and behind the scenes, they don't want to go through this anymore. They just want to bring the country down and make us into a socialistic country and control us.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Dave, when somebody throws the four-letter word free in front of you, as a businessman, author, and entrepreneur, what do you think of that word free?
Well, you know, I look at it as our country, how it was established to give people the opportunity to go out and work hard and persevere and do the right thing and to grow and become successful in our country, you know. And that's what it's about. But it's also about following our laws and doing it the right way under our free market capitalistic system and not under a socialistic system where we just give people everything and, you know, social justice and, you know, you can do whatever you want to do, whether it conforms with the law or not. And, you know, and the left, the far left right now, I don't know if you saw it the other day, they believe that, you know, we've been a nation of laws too long. We need to bring down a lot of these laws.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah. What I'm talking about with this word free is the likes of Kamala Harris, and everything is going to be free. Cory Booker from New Jersey saying, oh boy, I've got a great idea. I introduced a bill that's going to give children a free savings account. And then you got wild-haired Bernie saying all these things along with Medicare and healthcare are all going to be free. Where do they get off acting so stupid and having the American public buy it because there is nothing free?
Well, it's because it's their way of brainwashing people and getting people on their side. And, you know, again, we heard the same type of stuff when we were attacked. And, you know, it's what they do. And you look at the people that are saying this, and like Bernie Sanders, for how many years did he work in the private sector? One or two? He has no idea what it takes to make a America successful and for us to continue to grow and provide opportunity for people. You don't do it through socialism. You look at Venezuela and other places, that tells you everything you need to know about socialism.
I got to tell you that there is an individual on television that absolutely, every time he's on the air, there's two of them actually. One being Geraldo Rivera, the other being Juan Williams. Every time they come on TV, I'm at mercy of their absolute stupid remarks to where I know it's going to cost me my television set because I'm going to throw a boot through it. Yesterday, Juan Williams was on the air and he said that President Trump is just fear-mongering over this problem with the caravan, and he also said it's Trump's hatred of immigrants. These are the loopy loons that are representing the Democratic Party. Your thoughts?
No, you're exactly right, and it's amazing that Fox has them on, but they do it for a couple of reasons. One, so that they can throw up an argument on the TV programs, but also because they want to make sure that people like the SEIU and Soros and that don't come after them behind the scenes and go after their advertisers. Because you remember in my book, I exposed why Glenn Beck's not at Fox anymore, because he went after the SEIU. They went after Fox's advertisers, and Fox started losing revenues. And Fox said, fire him, and we'll leave your advertisers alone. So they fired him.
Yeah.
And people are being controlled behind the scenes, and the media is, and Americans need to wake up.
President Trump, I thought, had some excellent rallies over the last couple of days, and I have to snicker a little bit because when he was in Las Vegas recently at a rally, they being the Democrats, scheduled a rally with Joe Biden. Biden ended up with supposedly maybe 400 people, whereas Trump was jam-packing 20,000 in the area. I mean, the Democrats are making fools out of themselves.
Well, and just to add to what you just said, the Democrats just had Obama out there and to campaign for their Senate candidate out there, and he had a small venue and couldn't even fill this small venue with people.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Trump's in Houston and an 18,000 people facility. He filled it, but over 77,000 applied for tickets for it.
That's right.
And again, back in Las Vegas, Obama couldn't fill a very small venue.
What do you think about Obama standing up there with his white shirt on, no tie, no jacket, sleeves rolled up, and then snickering and making snide remarks against Trump, saying, well, it isn't Trump that made this economy great, it's me!
I'm not surprised at all. That's what they say, and that's what they do. And again, you're talking about another guy that, worked very little in the private sector. He doesn't understand how the private sector and capitalism works, and, he's just right in bed with all these people, and, they've been brainwashed and bought and everything, and they're going to continue to do this stuff because to them it's much easier to do this. Although I will say, and this is scary, and I hate to see this happen, I don't know if you saw here recently, but I guess there was explosive devices found near Soros's place and also Obama's place in Washington, D.C. And, I don't like to see that happen on either side of the aisle.
Absolutely. I'm so afraid that some of the radicals on both sides are going to prevail with something or somebody's going to get hurt. It really bothers me.
Yeah, and we need American people to come together and work together and, do what our framers said: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Well,
we got to do it. We got to come together and stop this stuff. And both on the far left and the far right.
Absolutely. When you say that come together, this also goes along with something that Donald Trump, our president, said the other night. I believe it was in Houston. I could be wrong. But he was talking about being a nationalist. And I absolutely agree with him. I don't want to be a globalist. I don't want to praise someone in Venezuela, or I don't want to praise somebody over in Japan, or I don't want to praise somebody over in Czechoslovakia over and above my country. I'm a nationalist. I'm very proud of this country. country, my country, and I'm going to absolutely treat it as number one. And Trump said the same thing and feels that way, but the media absolutely came out and slammed him.
Oh yeah, and that's what they do. And the far left wants a one world order because they want to see a world full of communism and socialism and that, and where people are controlled, and that's what it's all about. And it's interesting. I went to a chiropractor on Monday morning, and he was from Europe, from Bosnia, and he says his great grandfather originally was a communist, but woke up to how bad it was. And he was a farmer too. Him and several other farmers were communists. They woke up to what it was, and they fought back and realized that that's not the right way for this world. And it was interesting to hear that from somebody who came from an area that was, a communist-leaning country.
Absolutely. Game 1 last night of the World Series did not go Zeb's way. The Red Sox pummeled the Dodgers 8-4. What were your thoughts?
Well, I have to be nice. My dad's wife, she's from Boston, and she's a Boston fan. So, happy for her, sad for you, and vice versa if it goes the other way.
You are just that chicken going down the road, man. Come on.
You know I'm not a chicken.
Okay.
Hey, I got to tell you one more thing before we get off. Donald Trump Jr. was in town here Monday, and I got to meet him and Kimberly Guilfoyle, because, she's dating him.
Yes.
And they were at the local airport and got to go over there. Actually, we were there for three to 4 hours on that, and got to meet him and that. And it was a nice get together, and they all spoke, and it was good. And got to individually talk to Donald Trump Jr. and to Kimberly, and she's a nice gal, and it was good to see them. They were here representing Michael Braun, running for senator here as a Republican, and Greg Pence, Mike Pence's brother, who's running for House, and so it was a great day, and I just thought I'd tell you about it.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much, Mr. Dave Bego, Indianapolis, Indiana, author, businessman, entrepreneur. Thank you, sir. God bless, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Well, thanks. Have a great week out there.
All right. Thanks, Dave. David Bego, good friend, and has been for a long, long time. Hey, don't forget Minnecash Hearts for Seniors. This is a wonderful idea. Holly Rowe told us about it. I guess it was about 45 days ago, something like that. Minnecash Hearts for Seniors at 135 East 23rd Drive in Burley. If you're a senior, listen, and you want to stay at home, yes, you can. And all you need to do, maybe if you need help with some daily tasks or maybe meal preparation, call Minnecash Hearts for Seniors at 312-5715. Absolutely. Light housekeeping is taken care of and errands are done for you. Just give them a call and find out more. That's it. 312-5715, or contact Holly at heartsforseniors.net. Don't forget, 312-5715. Really nice people. Talking about nice people, we want to talk about another lady that is, of course, running for Idaho House of Representatives, District 25A, and that's Lori Likely. I've known Lori for a long time, and her family is a fourth-generation ranching family from Jerome. Republican nominee for the Idaho House of Representatives, District 25A. This lady is absolutely a person we need to keep in office, and she believes in stronger communities, balanced economic development with rural community and ag needs. She's been there and done that. She knows because she served as president of the Idaho Cattle Association and director, to the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Lori Likely, Idaho House of Representatives, seat 25A, paid for by Likely for Idaho, Bill Likely, treasurer. Absolutely. Okay, in just a few moments, Excuse me, I've got that bad throat coming back again today. I've got my favorite old cough medicine right here and ready to take, and it is the most inhuman taste I've ever had in my life. I'm going to have to take a swig of that in just a minute. Don't forget our dear friends at Hanson Mortuary. Oh my goodness, yes, they are there to serve you and your family. Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert with Joel Heward, the manager, along with his family and staff, serving you. And they absolutely are there to provide the families they serve with the best possible support and comfort when there's the passing of a loved one, and always with the highest ethical standards and unquestioned integrity. Please remember the name, remember the number. Hanson Mortuary in Rupert, 436-5636 with Joel Heward. And Joel also serving you at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Be sure and remember that. In just a moment, we're going to have Karen Cataline on the phone with us. And prior to that, I want to remind you, Jeff is back from his trip to England, jolly old England. And the whole crew is all back together at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. And they're having a great big harvest sale. Yeah, buddy, 40% off. 40% off. No money down, no interest, up to 48 months on approved credit. All the furniture, mattresses, dining sets, motion furniture, bedroom groups, and more. The fall flooring closeout specials. Wow! Save money. Now get decorated and beautified. I like that. Get beautified in your home before Thanksgiving and Christmas. Check into this great big harvest sale at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. They are waiting right this minute to serve you. Absolutely great people. And when you talk about great people, I also have to chime in here and say about our friends at Let's Ride. Oh, I believe they're going to be our feature on the Business Salute this week, tomorrow. Let's Ride with Nick and Randy and the whole crew. Holy moly, they're located at 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. They're open Monday through Fridays, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4, and they sell the fun. Oh, my goodness, all the snowmobiles are there and on display in the showroom floor. All the ATVs are there. I don't know how they got all that stuff in there. Wow, jam-packed. And don't forget they've got all the accessories, and they've got a service department to keep you running. All you need to do is stop over and see them today. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24, between Rupert and the World, where the fun is sold. Really good folks. Right now, I'm going to quit running off at the mouth here, and we're going to have this next guest on the phone with us, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about who she is and what she does. She's been here before. Loved having her on the program. Hope I don't say her name wrong. Karen Cataline, how are you?
You got it perfectly, Zeb. Thanks for inviting me on again. I love being with you.
Well, thank you very much. And tell us a little bit about what you do, who you write for, and every day in the life of Karen Cataline.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I started my professional life out as a musical comedy actress and singer. And I did that for a while on tour, and then I went to graduate school and became a social worker. I kind of did both for a long time. I got my master's in social work from Columbia University, a very conservative school, and digest. And then I kind of figured out that I wanted to say my own words, not someone else's. I became a political junkie, and now I am a commentator and a talk show host. I have a show called Spouting Off every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. And I write blogs and op-eds, and I spout off a lot. So I do that for Town Hall, and I had one recently in Investors Business Daily, Daily Caller, American Thinker. It's so much fun.
Well,
you're
just like I am.
In life, too, Zeb. I'm not a spring chicken, so I had to be a little seasoned to figure out what I stand for and what I think. So,
well, I love it.
Sounding off about it.
You're just like I am. You're a rabble-rouser, and you're proud of it, and so am I. I like that. What in the world? You wrote...
Fellow rabble-rousers.
Well, I tell you what, I liked the piece that you wrote about Lady Gag. That's what I call her. And I tell you what, this woman, I've never liked her. I've never liked how she's put herself in the spotlight to be the brain trust of the liberals. Tell us a little bit about this article about Lady Gaga that you wrote about collective thinking.
Yes, actually, this is an issue. The Me Too movement is something that I've been talking about pretty much since it started. As you know, it's been around for about a year, right after the Harvey Weinstein story.
Right.
And not only has Hollywood kind of gotten bit in the rear end about it, but the left has taken it on and tried to use it as a political battering ram. I think that it has blown up in their face to a large extent, but it has really exposed the knee-jerk reaction of a lot of these Hollywood people and the abandonment of any kind of reason and rational thinking. I'm actually writing a book on this about some of the real flaws in the Me Too movement that actually hurt women, not help women. There's no doubt that it hurts men because there is this, and this is to the question that you asked, the collectivist thinking of trying to paint all women as victims and all men as perpetrators is damaging not only to men but to women as well. Because women, the dirty little secret is that women never wanted Ashley Wilkes instead of Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind. They never wanted Alan Alda instead of Tom Selleck in the 70s. But we were sold a bill of goods by the left yet again, always trying to change and manipulate and, frankly, trash the culture. And now they want to turn what used to be I am woman and hear me roar into I'm a victim of toxic masculinity. And we just can't let them do it. One last thing, I know I'm running off at the mouth, but it's conservative women that are going to be the voice of reason here in this topic. It's conservative women that knew all along that we love strong men.
Let me say this, and please, Karen, feel free to jump right in the middle of me and tell me I'm wrong, or agree with me if you wish. But when I watched the Kavanaugh hearings, and I watched every minute of them and took notes for my program, when Ms. Ford took the microphone, and I found a completely disjointed remembrance of anything. I saw a person that absolutely seemed nervous and absolutely trying to put a story together. I didn't see credibility. I'm not mocking her. I'm not trying to knock her down. I'm just saying I did not see any credibility with Ms. Ford in a sleazy hearing that was destined and brought about to just bring down Judge Kavanaugh.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. And just to comment on the way that you presented that, the left is brilliant at making us feel sheepish. Not that you were exactly sheepish, but you felt like you had to defend the notion that you didn't find somebody credible. Well, the left has done such a good job in bullying people that they're not allowed to have a different opinion, which is nonsense. It's un-American that we have to apologize if we criticize someone who happens to be a member of a protected group, like a minority or a woman or someone gay. Well, that's reverse racism, as we know intellectually. We know that it is a kind of a racism when you hold certain people to a lower standard than you do everyone else. It means that their race, their gender, whatever, is more important than holding them accountable as a human being. So, in fact, Dr. Ford was caught in massive lies, and she was never confronted on those lies. Two, case in point. One was the idea that she had two front doors because she was so traumatized by what happened to her when she was 15 that she was driven into counseling, and that's when she revealed that it was Brett Kavanaugh, although she never used his name. And to jump ahead, it turns out, and it was checked out, that the two front doors had been there 4 years before she said they were, and they were used as a therapist entrance when somebody, a friend of hers, was using it for therapy. And of course, everyone laughs about the fact that she was afraid to fly, but she really wasn't afraid to fly when it wasn't to cooperate and listen and give her testimony in which she is accusing someone of a heinous crime. Suddenly she's afraid to fly. And she was giggling about that when the questioner asked her about it.
Yeah.
Now, did anybody confront her on those blatant lies? No, because she's a protected group.
Well, it was a very mismanaged, and I'm going to say this, and again, I don't care whose toes I step on. It was a very mismanaged hearing. I blame both sides of the aisle, the Democrats and the Republicans, for the net outcome of that hearing, because a lot of questions were unanswered that should have been demanded answers during that hearing. But one thing I want to get back to, Karen, that this idea now with the Me Too movement that women are so pure, women are so holy, women will never lie. Why don't they tell that to the lives that were mangled and destroyed in the Duke lacrosse team scandal?
Well, one of the star tactics of the left is selective memory and selective outrage. They have the gall, or in Yiddish we call it chutzpah, to suggest that they are on the moral high ground as it relates to women being the victim of sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, or rape and assault, all of which gets lumped together into one big pot, and it shouldn't be. Meanwhile, they ignored Bill Clinton, for which there is enormous evidence that he actually raped Juanita Broderick. We know that story. It never goes away because the left never really acknowledges it. They also, in the Keith Ellison case, they've been horrendous to that victim who's told her story. So they're only outraged when it suits their political agenda. We know this. We know it all the time, but we're not really good, although I think we're getting better, at pointing out the absurdity of this. It's not reasonable.
Yeah.
And their big benefit is they don't care. They can be as hypocritical as they want to be, and it doesn't seem to bother them. It bothers us, but it doesn't bother them.
Well, let me ask you this. In regards to Lady Gaga and Cher, and one of the most repulsive women on the face of the earth today, in my opinion, is Joy Behar. How do they get away with the things that they say and the things that they do in front of the media? And why aren't the American public more perceptive of the truth and lies? Are we that stupid?
Nah. Well, I mean, some of us are. You never really find out what the general public thinks outside of Washington and New York and Los Angeles until Election Day. And even then, it's a little stilted. And, of course, we're less than 2 weeks away from one of the most important midterm elections ever. I think the main reason that women like Behar and Lady Gaga, who is suddenly an expert on sexual assault because she experienced it, and that's another thing. If they had personal experience, it's okay for them to hate all men and to smear all men. Well, if she had a good therapist, that therapist would curb that tendency and have her be angry at her perpetrator, not all men. And to answer your question, I think the reason these ultra-liberal airhead women in Hollywood get away with it is because they have friendly media that never holds them accountable because the media agrees with them.
Yeah.
I mean, look how they parse Donald Trump's words. and they twist everything he says to give the worst possible interpretation of it because, the days of even remote, fair, and balanced, to use a phrase, media are gone.
Yeah. We have a caller with a quick question, and I'm down to the last 3 minutes, caller, so keep it short. Go fast.
Yes, I wonder if some of these mothers care about what is happening to the future of their sons. Is it more important to be politically correct and socially acceptable, or is it more important to raise a son who is a man and he knows he's a man? Does any of this even matter anymore, or are all men supposed to be feminized and we're all supposed to cower in the corner and be weak and afraid to do what men are supposed to do? I'll hang up.
He brings up a really good point because I think men are being backed into a corner right now. Your thoughts, Karen, quickly.
I just agree with them wholeheartedly, and I think that you're going to see a huge backlash to the Kavanaugh hearings from women who have husbands and brothers and sons, and they're taking us. They're always overreaching. Can I just tell people, if you want to know more, go to my website, KarenCataline.com, and you can read me, and I would love to hear your thoughts, your comments, your arguments. It's all grist for the mill.
Karen, I really appreciate your coming on. I'm going to call you and have you back in the future. I wish you the best, and thank you for sharing with us this morning on my program.
It's my pleasure, Zeb. Thanks for the opportunity.
God bless. Thank you so much. I like that lady. She's straightforward, and I respect her thoughts. Thank you very much, Karen Cataline. Oh, my goodness, I got to get a weather forecast on here real quick. And the weather brought to you and me and everybody by Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area for well over 50 years. I mean, these are the professionals. Absolutely. The best in tax return preparation and tax planning and business consulting and payroll services and retirement planning. Oh, the list goes on and on. They are the professionals serving you, your family, and your business. With offices in Burley and Rupert, it's Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Expecting a day without rain showers. Here's a look at your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. Sunny skies for today. Expecting a high of 66. Winds out of the west-southwest right around 6 miles an hour tonight. Partly cloudy skies with a low of 38. Mostly sunny as we head on into tomorrow. High of 62. Partly cloudy for tomorrow night with a low of 39 by Friday. Mostly sunny skies. High of 66 Friday night. Partly cloudy with a low of 41 for Saturday. Mostly sunny 68. And Sunday mostly sunny and 68. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the range.
Gina, appreciate it. And the weather brought to you by Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. And they can help so many people in so many different ways, like folks that are starting a business, or maybe you want to expand that business, or maybe go to a partnership or a corporation, or maybe hire more employees. Please, please, please get a hold of them today. They can and they will help you. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, with offices in Burley and Rupert. Holy cow, I got time for a couple calls. Give me a jingle quickly at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Once again, don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric, along with Lennox products, help keep you comfortable and possibly save you money, too. Ramsey Heating and Electric is offering up to $1,600 in rebates on qualifying equipment purchases. Call today and find out more. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 678-0459, and they're located at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Well, that's where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Absolutely really good people. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by just a minute. I've got to also tell everybody about Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits by dedicated professionals serving you and your family. Please get a hold of them today. Number to call, 436-4424. Don't forget, Cameron Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. They're dedicated and very accessible folks. All you need to do is make the call, make the appointment. 436-4424, Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Thank you.
You know, with your last caller, I am so sick and tired of hearing that what allegedly happened to Ford was a heinous crime. She was groped a little bit. She was held down on a bed. She wasn't raped like Anita Broderick. So I don't think it comes to the level of heinous.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you this, and be very, very blunt with this answer, if you would. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being very minimal, 10 being very factual, where would you put her testimony at that Senate hearing regarding Ms. Ford?
Can I say 0?
Yes, you can. Because honestly, that's the way I felt. I saw a very nervous, scared, very inept, very unqualified, very uneducated individual that absolutely had no business being there.
Well, and she had to read the whole testimony, and on top of it, because of her college degree, she's coached people in how to behave, whatever, and so she knew all the tricks.
As a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a psychoanalyst or whatever her degree or title says, I wouldn't send my little dog Ruby to see her.
Poor dog if you did. I know. I mean, right off the bat, I didn't. First thing I ever heard or saw from her, I didn't believe. Yeah, maybe something happened, but then why didn't they bring up her sexual exploits later on in her school years?
Yeah, absolutely. When I looked at her on the stand, I know there's people out in the audience that hate me for what I'm about to say. That's fine. I couldn't care less. I saw with the fleeting eyes. I judge people by their eyes in a conversation. Have you ever talked to somebody, they come up to you at a party or some kind of a function or whatever, and their eyes are always darting all over the room and everything, other than paying attention to what you and that person are saying? I think those people are phonies and frauds. That's what I saw in her.
Yeah, well, and I watched a person who interprets body language. Oh, my gosh. Fraud all the way through.
I agree.
The girl thing, the little this, the that. I was like, yeah, I didn't know that's what I was seeing, but now I recognize it.
Yeah. Thank you very much for calling back. I appreciate that. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say this at all, and I was going to say this a long time ago. I just think that Ms. Ford, and I will not demean her any further other than saying I thought the whole thing was hype. I thought the whole thing was all put together with Scotch tape, and I think the tape got wet, and it all fell apart. I think she was absolutely unbelievable. Don't forget our friends at Forever Green. Holy moly, have they got a good deal for you. Christmas is right around the corner. See, come, lean forward. See it? Peek. There it is. Christmas right around the corner. And you're probably already dreading hanging your Christmas tree lights. You know, it can be a chore. And it can be dangerous, too, especially for those of us that have a hard time climbing up on a ladder or whatever. You ought to see me on a ladder. That's a joke. Anyway, I urge you to give them a call. Forever Green's experienced staff, they can help. They can design custom-fitting light strands to match the specific needs of your house or business. And they've got 9 different color options available in LED bulbs. I urge you to call. They'll give you a free quote and schedule an appointment to come out and see your property. Excellent. Forever Green Lawn and Tree Service. 423-6454. I'll say it again so I say it clean and clear. 423-6454. Forever Green Lawn and Tree Service. You give them a call today. We got a very interesting next hour, and I don't know how it's going to pan out. And when I say that, I'm looking at it with a little trepidation. First of all, coming up at 10:06 this morning, we're going to have a wonderful lady that I think is very courageous, Jeanette Finicum. the wife of Lavoy Finicum, and Lavoy, of course, was shot in Oregon, and we're going to be talking about his story and the video that's going to be shown tonight at the Burley Theater. Then at 10:30, and this is the one that I'm a little concerned about, hopefully all will go well. We're going to be talking to space expert, and I'm not talking about the space between your desk and the wall. I'm talking about outer space, and who and what's out there with Bruce Dormany. And Bruce is over in Hong Kong this morning. Yeah, I know. And we're going to try to do this via Skype and make sure everything comes through okay. My old buddy Wheels is going to be running the controls, and we'll see how it comes through. Right now, speaking of Wheels, would you please, sir, play the good word for Proposition 1?
It's an Idaho tradition going back generations. Horse racing. And Proposition 1 will bring it back. Yes, on Proposition 1, it's all about Idaho, creating hundreds of local jobs, restoring millions of dollars to local classrooms, all with full transparency and real accountability. And the Idahoans sponsoring Prop 1 are doing even more, donating 100% of net profits from their horse racing operations to a new charitable foundation, the Treasure Valley Racing Foundation for Rural Idaho, dedicated to supporting education, scholarships, healthcare, and economic initiatives, serving rural families and communities all across our state, supporting programs like 4-H and FFA, and providing financial assistance to students pursuing degrees in areas like agriculture and animal science. Yes, on Proposition 1, the campaign with a heart for Idaho. Paid for by the Committee to Save Idaho Horse Racing, create jobs, and fund public schools.
Absolutely, and thank you very much for being on the program this morning. I've got a couple of public service announcements. I need to get in here real fast. Tomorrow, the 2018 Republican bus tour for the state candidates will be storming through the area, and they're going to be in Rupert at the E Street Deli on the east side of the square from 5:30 to 6 p.m. That's tomorrow. My dear friends, the Stevensons sent me this note, and I want to urge everybody to be there to ask questions and find out the answers. 2018 Republican bus tour for the state candidates going through on Thursday, October 25th on the square tomorrow at about 5:30 in Rupert. Don't forget that. Another quick note, and I really commend these people. First American Title Company at 417 North Overland in Burley. They're having their annual sock drive, like socks you put on your feet, for the month of October, and all donations will be given to the Mini-Cassia school districts for families in need. Anybody interested in donating can drop off donations at their office, First American Title Company, or call them at 878-4772. There you go. We've got all that business taken care of. We're going to take a little break, send it to CBS News right now, and let them mess everything up. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. Oh, good morning. Beautiful, beautiful day outside. Zeb at the ranch, and glad to be with you. Hour number 3, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with a great big fall tire sale going on right now. Stop in and see them today. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. We'll have our guest in just a few moments, but I've got some business to take care of here quickly. We need to help keep this lady's values in the Idaho House of Representatives, seat 24B. Linda Wright Hartkin is a compassionate conservative that believes in our Second Amendment and is pro-life, and above all, she has common sense. With Representative Linda Wright Hartkin, we have a person that is a problem solver with integrity. So please, when you go to the vote on November 6th, vote for Linda Wright Hartkin. For House Seat 24B, we need her values. Paid for by elect Wright Hartkin to the committee, Rich Stivers, Chairman. Thank you very much. I got all discombobulated there for a few moments. I apologize. Also want to remind you about a great big sale that's coming up on this Saturday, and it's going to be the Four Brothers Inventory Reduction Auction. It's going to be starting at 10 o'clock Saturday morning, October 27th, this weekend in Shoshone. Well, actually north of Shoshone. 420 north, 250 west. From Johnny's Country Store, go west for 4 miles. Parking in the field. Watch for the signs. Lunch at the Cook Shack. And this is going to be a big, big sale. Lots of loaders and tractors and trucks and fire truck even and pickups. Livestock items. Much of the great farm equipment. Rototillers, all kinds of things, ATVs, trailers, you name it, it's going to be there at the Four Brothers Inventory Reduction Auction this coming Saturday, October 27th, north of Shoshone, put on by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. Look for the signs. The Bennett Boys Auction Service, no sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, yep. They sell them all. And while we have just a moment, I also want to remind you, too, about our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric. Along with Lennox, they are offering Lennox products to help keep you comfortable. Ramsey Heating and Electric offering up to $1,600 in rebates on qualifying equipment purchases. You be sure and get a hold of them today. Call and find out more at 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and they've served you for well over 6 decades. I'm very honored this morning on the program to have this lady with us. I think she's been on my program once or twice before, and we're going to be talking about an event that is coming up this evening at 6 p.m. at the Burley Theater at 135 West Main Street in Burley, and it's a documentary on Lavoy Finicum, and it's called Dead Man Talking, and it's going to start tonight at 6 p.m. With me on the telephone right now, Jeanette Finicum, Lavoy's wife. Good morning, Jeanette. How are you?
I'm doing well, Zeb. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm also here with the president from Center for Self-Governance, Mark Herr, who is the producer of this film.
Well, tell us a little bit about the film, the production of the film, what point you wanted to get across to the general public, what people can really expect to see tonight, and why they should be in attendance. Go ahead, please.
You bet. Our family's goal has been all along to bring to you the real Lavoy Finicum. We want you to understand who he was, why he went to Malheur, and what he was standing for at Malheur, because you didn't get that from the headlines in the press. The press label lynched him. He was called a domestic terrorist. He was called a racist. He was called a white supremacist. Those were label lynching words, and he was then lynched in the hearts and minds of the people across this country, and it gave them the authority, so to speak. The police then had the moral high ground to go in and murder a man without his due process. And so what we have been striving to do is to bring you who the real Lavoy was. And after you leave tonight, after seeing this film, you are going to be upset. You're going to be angry because you have been lied to. And I hope that you will continue to come, because this is just episode 1 of a 4-part series on Lavoy Dead Man Talking.
Okay, now, Jeanette, with that being said, let's back up a little bit to square one. Let's talk a little bit about Lavoy Finicum, the man, Lavoy Finicum and his dedication to preserving our freedoms, Lavoy as a author of a book called Only by Blood and Suffering, and then his involvement up in Oregon at that wildlife preserve, the Malheur County Wildlife Preserve. Tell us how all this linked together with the ultimate ending with his being shot up in Oregon. Give us kind of a thumbnail sketch.
Well, Lavoy Finicum was just an average American. We are parents of 12 children. We are grandparents of 27 grandchildren. We were busy living our life. We did therapeutic foster care for teenage boys for 18 years. So we were busy raising our family and teaching our children to be respectful, responsible American citizens, which they all are. I'm so proud of our children. They are patriots in their own right, and they're out there fighting the fight and bringing liberty to those all around them wherever they live. My husband could see the country changing. He could see our liberties being swallowed up by our government. He could see that the boundaries were being blurred, and he wanted to do something about that. And that's when he wrote the book, Only by Blood and Suffering, Regaining Lost Freedom. He wanted to teach, and he was doing so in a story form. And it was a very successful book. It has been, and people really love the book and have learned a lot about liberty, freedom, God, and country, and have been inspired to do many different things and changes in their lives. But he went then and met Clive and Bundy in 2014, and I think that was a pivotal point in my husband's life, that standoff at Bunkerville. That changed the direction he was heading. And he realized that he needed to make a stand of his own, and he did. He was standing for liberty and for personal property rights. He was asking the government not to be involved in his own ranching business, and it went from there. And we started to, you'll learn a lot. If you come to see the film tonight, I'm kind of giving away the film just a little bit, but come and see the film, and you will find out who the real Lavoy Finicum was and what he was standing for, and you will be appalled at the lengths that our government went to murder and to silence this good American.
Jeanette, if I could please, and I'm sorry, I did not catch the name of the producer of the bio documentary. Is he right there, and can he go on the phone?
He is. His name is Mark Herr.
Mark.
Thanks for having us on.
Oh, it's my pleasure to have you on the air. Mark, when you were approached to do this documentary, this isn't an easy thing to do, to talk to family members about a loved one that was shot and killed and put together a documentary. What's the main theme that you can tell us that you strove for in the finalization of this film? What do you want people to take away from this?
That this could happen to anyone. The definition of domestic terrorism in the federal law, it literally says, quote, anyone who appears to intend to coerce or intimidate a civilian population. So it's such a broad definition. Anyone means any American who appears to intend. So it's just a matter of you being defined as a threat. Lavoy Finicum was defined as a threat to the American people. Somebody who would storm a cockpit, for example, and fly it into a building like we saw at 9/11, or strap a suicide vest, or send bombs to people around the country. We just really want people to understand that if you have a political belief in our country, and it's a legitimate political belief like Lavoy Finicum had related to layer cake federalism or a separation of powers kind of a government, that you could be labeled by the media, you could be identified as a threat by law enforcement, and ultimately have your life snuffed out from under your legs if you take a stand for your political beliefs in this country. And that's a very important message we'd like to get out to the American people. And we also would like them, Zeb, to learn the system. The system is designed fantastic in our country, and Lavoy Finicum was trying to communicate that in all of his YouTube videos, that the American system, from the federal government all the way down to the lowest local level, it's a fantastically designed system. And as we all can attest, it feels like there's a lot of chaos in our system right now, but if we learn it, we can fix it. And Lavoy really tried to communicate that to the American people.
When you were doing this and approached to do this documentary, sir, did you have to do a lot of study on his personality and his history? I mean, how did you get his personality into this film so that people could really understand what a really nice man he was?
So, yes, we had to do a lot of research. We had to watch all of his YouTube videos. There's 9 hours of them. We've had to spend a lot of time, the last 2 years plus, with the Finicum family, trying to understand Lavoy's character from their viewpoint. And then what we realized is that, we really got to learn about Lavoy from his own words, something that the press didn't allow him to have. Because they spun things with the labels. And then, of course, what the media portrayed the day he was killed through the FBI footage, et cetera, is that this was an armed and dangerous individual. And so really giving Lavoy Finicum a chance to say in his own words, as if he got to go to court, as Jeanette pointed out in a previous interview this morning, The Hammonds were pardoned by President Trump. The people in the vehicles with Lavoie and in the vehicle behind them, they were all acquitted by a jury of their peers. So if Lavoie had gone to court in Oregon, he would have been acquitted. If he had gone to Nevada, he would have walked out because the case was dismissed because of prosecutorial misconduct. So we really had to do a lot of research to find it. And fortunately, Zeb, we've got all of this footage of Lavoie. There's so much recording of him, his self-published recordings, and then all of the recordings of his interviews with the media and what he said, and then, of course, our interviews with people who knew him or interacted with him and his family. So it's been quite a process.
You know, I had the opportunity not long prior to the shooting to have Lavoie on my program, and I found him to be very engaging. I found him to be wonderful, warm, and friendly on the telephone and our interview, and it absolutely took me aback when I heard what happened in what looked like a staged and very orchestrated final day of his life by the police officers that seemed to have a complete trap set for this man.
Right. So why did the media hate him so much? And why was there a trap produced there by the officers? That's because they were pretty much brainwashed into believing that he was a domestic terrorist because he had been labeled that by SPLC and other authorities. You know, for instance, the reason why the Bundys their case was dismissed with prejudice was because there was a violation of evidence. They falsified evidence. They falsified the threat assessment. And so that threat assessment that was transferred up to Oregon labeled these men and women who were there as domestic terrorists.
And another important point, Zeb, is that the threat assessment had Lavoie Finicum at the top of their threat. They became seriously concerned with Lavoie's presence in Oregon the day after the occupation in the Malheur began. And so there's an important question that we want to get across through this documentary, in addition to securing his legacy, is how far are we willing to define each other as fellow Americans? Are we willing to go to such extremes in our threats assessments that we want to cast such a broad net and try to draw in as many people across this country and define them as domestic terrorists? And that is exactly the result of Lavoie Finicum's journey. He had a broad net. They'd labeled him these things. He was threat assessed as a domestic terrorist threat against the American people.
For political belief.
For his political belief, and then ultimately the resources of law enforcement, which is their job to protect us from threats. They were simply trying to get rid of a threat. So do they need to be held accountable for January 26th and the protocols? Absolutely. But should they be held accountable for defining the threat? That's not their job. We have to go back into the law, domestic terrorism law. We've got to go to the domestic extremism lexicon, the definition of these threats, and we've got to reverse the training of the law enforcement if we want to change this the ship's course.
I would say this, and
definition of these words that they've hijacked and demonized, because a lot of these words, like constitutionalist, patriot, militia member, sovereign, these are not bad words in and of themselves.
Right.
They have hijacked the definitions of these great words. Another thing, is it okay to murder someone for their political ideology if it's not politically correct, if it's not aligned with what the media and others want you to believe? Because that's what's happening in this country. You see a disparaging difference in how we're being treated. You've got Ferguson, the ICE riots, Antifa, and they're given airtime, they're praised, they're promoted, and then you have the men and women that were up in Malheur, 35 miles out of town, standing for our First Amendment rights, standing with for all of our individual rights and property rights, and they're doing it peacefully and responsibly, and they're demonized, and they're label lynched in the press, and my husband was murdered because of his political beliefs. He was standing for the Constitution. He was standing for the individual. He was standing for you and me. He was standing responsibly. He was not an Antifa member or, the the different riots throughout this country, whether it was, the pipeline or Ferguson or Baltimore. We've watched it, people. We've watched this country fall apart in that sense. But we need to be responsible and start standing ourselves and standing civilly and responsibly. And I believe that that's what my husband was doing there in Malheur.
Well, I'm almost out of time, and I want to make this point, and I want both of you to respond. But, Jeanette, you just brought up a very valid point that needs to be elaborated on. We are watching anarchy and chaos thrive in this country with people, whether they're on the Berkeley campus, throwing firebombs, breaking windows, threatening people's lives. We're looking at a caravan right now trying to come up to America from South and Central America, demanding that they come into our country, and there might be chaos on our border. Your husband, Lavoy Finicum, was standing in the road when shot, and there was no threat from Lavoy whatsoever. How can the government and how can authorities look at Lavoy standing there, not offering a threat to anybody, and he's shot down in cold blood, versus these others that are known anarchists that want to have nothing but chaos and open accidents happen to people all across the world?
That is such a great question, Zeb, and it's such an important takeaway for your entire audience, is that the definition of the phrase domestic extremism and domestic terrorism needs to become a conversation piece for our fellow Americans. That definition is controlled by the 2001 Patriot Act, and it's had a repercussion, and it's reverberating across the country right now. It's separated people like you and me and Lavoy Finicum and Jeanette Finicum and her entire family, and categorize them into a class of right-wing, alt-right, far-right, white supremacist, neo-Nazi, nativist, nationalist, fascist, white supremacist, sovereign citizen, anti-government, reject federal authority, patriot constitutionalists. And that labels is now inside the federal code, inside their lexicons, and inside the training. And so it's really important for your audience to understand our law enforcement officers across this country are great people trying to preserve our freedoms too. But their training, their job is not to define the threat. Their job is to take out the threat.
That's right.
And now they need to be held accountable for the protocols when they are stopping the threat, like what happened to Lavoy on his day. That needs to be held accountable. However, there's something bigger here, and it's been a burden and a prayer for us, for Jeanette and our organization, for the American people to understand. We've got to go beyond attacking the law enforcement and go into the actual definition of domestic terrorism.
Absolutely.
The actual lexicon. Right there is the source of our struggles. Our political voices are being silenced using law, using lexicon, and using law enforcement training to eliminate our political doctrine of layer cake federalism, the belief that government should be separated, power should be separated, so that those who have control of government could be held accountable too.
I'm down to about the last 3 minutes, and please bear with me. The clock dictates my life every day. I apologize. I want both of you to reiterate why people should come to the Burley Theater tonight at 135 West Main in Burley. Please, go ahead.
Yes, please come and learn who Lavoy Finicum really was. Find out who the man was, what he was standing for, and why he went to Malheur. You know, we have a long battle ahead of us, our family still, for the wrongful death of my husband. And so if you're interested in knowing more about that, you can visit our website, One Cowboy Stand for Freedom. If you're willing to help, you could host a viewing of this in your neighborhood. Please go to the website again and notify us that you like to see us come. It's an important film. This fight, this wrongful death fight, is not just my family's fight. It's America's fight.
Now, Jeanette, after the film is completed tonight, I understand that there's going to be a period of time given for questions and answers regarding the documentary. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes. After the film, I'll be speaking, and then I'll open it up for questions, and I'll be glad to answer any and all of your questions.
You know, for both of you being on the program this morning, it meant a lot to me that you take the time and the effort to come on, and I urge everyone to go to the Burley Theater tonight at 135 West Main Street in Burley, starting at 6 p.m. for this documentary, Dead Man Talking, in regards to Lavoy Finicum, the Arizona rancher killed in Oregon on January 26, 2016. And Jeanette, if you'll allow me, there was a sentence that I'd like to take out of the book that Lavoy had written called Only by Blood and Suffering, and the line that really struck me was this: "It is my belief that freedom will arise again in this land, but only after much blood and suffering. This is my witness and my warning." Lavoy Finicum. Please address that last sentence in the preface, if you would, of his book.
Well, he just felt that our country was headed in that direction where we were going to see the two sides collide. And the side of liberty and freedom and fighting for what the founders had put together for us, and anarchy. You know, my husband could see that coming, and he felt that the only way that we were going to preserve it was after a fight like that, where people would wake up and realize, oh my gosh, you know, we need to stand to preserve what the founders have created. You know, this country was given to us by God.
Yes.
He inspired those men, our founders, in writing the Constitution. It is not an outdated document. It lives and breathes today. And we naturally, no matter what side of the political spectrum we might be on, we naturally want free agency and liberty. We naturally want boundaries given to us, and we need to preserve the boundaries between the counties and the states and in this country. We need to preserve the structure that has been set up for us, and I believe that that's what he was talking about.
Absolutely.
You know, after much trial, there will be those who will stand and preserve this great country.
Absolutely. Jeanette Finicum, thank you so much to both of you folks, and I urge everybody to be at the Burley Theater tonight at 6 p.m. Thank you. I'm all out of time, but I wish you God's blessings, and I hope many, many people go to the viewing tonight of this documentary. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zeb. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be telling you again before the program's over, don't forget to go to that film tonight, 6 p.m., tonight at the Burley Theater, and it is an excellent documentary. Thank you very much. Don't forget, we need to keep her values in the Idaho House of Representatives, seat 24B. I'm talking about Linda Wright Hartkin, a very compassionate conservative that believes in our Second Amendment and is pro-life, and above all, she has common sense. With Representative Linda Wright Hartkin, we have a person that's a problem solver with integrity. Absolutely. Vote November 6th for Linda Wright Hartkin for House seat 24B. We need her values. Paid for by Elect Wright Hartkin Committee, Rich Stivers, Chairman. Wheels, over to you.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
I have been waiting patiently to get this man on my program for a couple of weeks, and I absolutely am excited to hear what he has to say. We say good morning to a Forbes science journalist and author, Bruce Dormany. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Okay, how you doing?
I am wonderful, sir, and thank you very much for coming on our program this morning. And you are an expert on space and astronomy and our flights into space, etc. My question first and foremost is, what's out there and who's out there and how much do we know about what's happening?
No, what do you mean, who's out there? Quantify that.
Well, when I say that, you know, we're always hearing stories about, is there life on other planets? Have we been visited by people from other planets? What about all of the noise and the lights that we hear at night? And some people say it's all marsh gas. Bring us up to speed on what's real and what's fantasy.
only cover astronomy, and I also cover the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. But that's not, I do not cover, the UFO field or lights in the sky and that sort of thing. And frankly, I'm not saying that, I don't know what people have seen or haven't seen, but that's just not what I do. I am very interested in the search for life, whether it be microbial or intelligent in the cosmos. And I think, most mainstream science has embraced that. My book called Distant Wanderers, Search for Planets Beyond the Solar System, which came out about 17 years ago, is still in print, still on Amazon. You can go buy it, buy a truckload. Anyway, no, I'm just teasing, but it's amazing how things have progressed in the last 20 years. When I wrote my book, there were only 60 known extrasolar planets, and they were mostly hot Jupiters, these gaseous giant planets on very short orbits around their parent solar-type stars. And now, by most estimates, most astronomers estimate there's maybe half of all stars have planets.
Oh, my.
And we're still looking for an extrasolar Earth. We're still looking for an Earth analog, and we are, we're coming closer and closer. And so, but, I don't know what you've seen or haven't seen, but, most people in mainstream science don't think that we're being visited or even have been visited. But that doesn't mean there's not intelligent life out there.
Mr. Dorminey, you study this. You know all about this far more than I. But, laying on your back on the front lawn during the summertime, and just like when I was a little kid, wondering the question, how high is up? In other words, how vast an expanse space is. And you just told me that now they're finding much more in outer space that we didn't even know existed. And I'll go back to the question as a little boy. How high is up? Do we know, or do we have any fathoming as to how much is out there?
Well, the observable universe is, the universe itself is about 13.8 billion years old.
Wow.
But the observable universe is if you would will, the diameter of the observable universe is somewhere around 30 to 40 billion light years across. And, a light year is, I don't know how they exactly come to that calculation because I'm not a cosmologist or a mathematician, but that's what I'm told. And there are some stars, the smaller red dwarf stars in our own galaxy can live to be 30 billion years old, or 50 billion years old. They're very stable later in their life. And so those are good, it was thought that actually those are good candidates for planets that might harbor life. In my own mind, if you're asking me to cut to the chase, do I think there's intelligent life out there? I think, yeah, there probably is. Do I think it's visited Earth? I honestly don't know. I can't say one way. I can't say definitively one way or the other. I think it's possible with advanced technology that civilizations will be traveling, at warp speed or faster than light, possibly without circumventing the speed of light. But now, whether or not who's out there and who's doing it, I couldn't say. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they're not out there. I'm just saying I don't have proof of that.
Right. Let me ask you this question. Of the research and the studies and the lunar landing, and then, of course, the Mars landing device, etc., what are the cases of evidence of water or atmosphere or whatever on these planets and other planets that you've observed that might have some kind of a life activity?
Well, I don't observe. I'm not an astronomer. I'm a science journalist, so I cover the field. but it's still not conclusively known whether Mars has water. I mean, I just am writing a story right now that presents a case that Mars has much more dissolved subsurface oxygen in the subsurface water than it was expected. But it depends on who you ask. Most planetary scientists think Mars, for instance, does have subsurface water, but Mars has a very, very thin atmosphere. The sun actually eroded the atmosphere pretty quickly, within the first, if I'm not mistaken, within the first billion years of its history, and so solar wind just stripped the atmosphere away. And NASA has produced some models of that, which are pretty, mind-blowing to watch. And but I think, frankly, Mars probably, there's a potential for it to have had microbial life, and there's potential with the news today of this extra dissolved oxygen potentially in subsurface water, that Mars might even have subsurface microbial life, right now. Mm-hmm. But the problem is we still, with all the rovers we've in place, and we still don't know definitively. We haven't really been sampling enough to know definitively whether Mars has life. And probably the only way we're definitively going to know it is to do a sample return, or either do a deep drilling experiment where you actually are drilling maybe several kilometers down.
I see.
So, and as far as the moon goes, the moon has water, surprisingly, more than we've found out in the last 10 years that the moon has some water, more water than we expected, which will be good probably when we ever go back to colonize the moon, if that ever happens, or go to colonize the moon. But whether or not the moon, I actually wrote a story, a Forbes story, about several months ago about the moon potentially could have been habitable for a small length of time. But now whether or not that was enough time to spawn life, I doubt it. And right now the moon is extremely inhospitable. So, but it does have some resources. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping that we will go back. I mean, because, next year is the 50th anniversary of Apollo 11 lunar landing.
Let me ask you this question, Mr. Dorminey, if I may. Since the lunar landings, and there's been basically a void. We have basically said, okay, that's enough. We don't need to know anymore. We won't fund this. We won't go here. And we have seen a lessening of wanting to really explore outer space. There seems to be a resurgence in that attitude of going out and finding and learning more. What do you look for in a crystal ball, if you will, for the next 10 years, the next decade and beyond, as far as more involvement of finding out what's out there?
Well, the reason we stopped going to the moon was basically we beat the Soviet Union to the moon. It was all about the Cold War, and once we had done that, the President Nixon and Congress decided to cut the funding for Apollo, and it really was about winning the race to the moon. And in terms of space exploration, I would actually kind of disagree with you there. There's been a lot of, continual robotic probes, the Cassini probe, the New Horizons probe, the Pluto, the Dawn mission. The Japanese have sent probes to comets. The Europeans landed, the Rosetta Philae lander on the comet 67T, and so I actually would disagree. I think robotic exploration of our own solar system is very robust. I mean, we've mapped the moon to a degree that's unprecedented since the Apollo era. I am disappointed personally that we're just not we're not on the moon robotically, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should have been doing that, and really just exploring every nook and cranny of the moon, whether it has caves and lava caves. We've done some of that from from lunar orbit, but I am very disappointed that we haven't been up there for decades since the Apollo program. If you want to cut the Apollo, fine, but let's don't let that influence our lunar exploration, because we really have only been to a handful of landings
right.
with astronauts, and only a handful of landers have landed on the moon. I mean, and so we really need to get back to that. And I hope that's going to happen, but I don't know.
One final question.
Who knows?
One final question for you this morning before we run out of time, and I'm going to show my naivete on this subject because I really don't understand it. Would you please explain to me what a black hole in space is and what are the dangers? I don't understand it when they say a black hole.
Well, a black hole is just a kind of a gravitational singularity, which means that it used to be thought, up until Stephen Hawking and his Hawking radiation, that a black hole swallowed everything, and no information escaped. In other words, there was no radiation of any sort that escaped from the black hole. Hawking proved that was wrong. I'm not a cosmologist or a theoretician, so I can't give you I can just give you the broad sketch. But for general purposes of a black hole, a stellar mass black hole, or a supermassive black hole like the one at our galaxy center, swallows everything that comes in contact with it from light years around. And there's nothing to be afraid of. I mean, it's just a natural process. Now, whether or not you believe black holes are wormholes into other parts of the galaxy or other parts of the universe, that's up for debate. But basically, they are they're either massive stars that have collapsed and are swallowing. They are gravitationally dense.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yes.
They are swallowing up everything around them. But that doesn't mean the term black hole is kind of a misnomer. It doesn't mean we don't, exactly know what happens to the matter when it's swallowed up by this gravitational singularity. I mean, theoreticians do because they have equations. But really, if you were on a amusement ride going into a black hole, what would actually happen to you, I don't know.
Okay.
And I don't think, theoreticians have ideas, but, I would assume that you would, just basically cease to exist because you'd be swallowed up by the gravitational singularity that, So, there's nothing to be afraid of them. I mean, we have one in our galactic center, but it's so far away from us. It's just a natural process of galaxy evolution.
I see.
And there are stellar mass black holes, but they're not going to cause us any problems. So, I don't want anybody out there losing sleep over black holes. I mean, that's there are other things to worry about.
Absolutely. We have a caller with a question. I've only got a minute and a half left. Caller, real fast. Please go ahead.
Well, like Zeb said, when I was a young man, I was laying on the grass in the night, and I said, "How far is space?" And I determined in my own mind that apparently it's infinite. And I said to myself, if there's infinity, then there's eternity. And eternity would mean that there is a God. And I said, when we turn away from God or ignore, intelligent design, I think we're making a mistake. I'll hang up.
Respond to the caller, if you would, please, Mr. Dormany. Thank you.
Well, everybody has their right to their opinion. I personally don't see any conflict between, Christian theology and the evolution of the universe, because, in my mind, everything started with the Big Bang, and the universe evolved from, again, another infinite singularity and inflation and nuclear synthesis. And we are the product of 13.8 billion years of evolution. But that doesn't mean you can't believe in your God. Or, I try to respect everybody's religion. So I personally don't see the need to invoke intelligent design. I mean, evolution and the universe seem to be working very well on their own, and we're here to talk about it. So there you go.
I would say, though, in accordance with what the caller said just a moment ago, nobody knew or knows the hand that God used to form the universe. I believe in that as far as creative design is concerned, and it could be this way as far as nobody knew what an hour was or a day was or a month was in God's time. So all of these issues could very well fall within the biblical prophecy. Mr. Dorminey, I appreciate your time this morning. I've got to run. I'm out of time, but I'd like to invite you back in the future. Thank you so much for being on our program this morning.
And I would just ask that, I thank you, and I thanks for the opportunity. And please just go to my Forbes.com page. It's Dorminey, Dorminey.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'm late. I've got to get this weather forecast on real fast, and the weather, of course, brought to you by Scarro's Meats and Don Scarrow and the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657, or you can go to their website, www.scarrowsmeats.com. It's phenomenal. I mean, man, we're talking about the marinated pork ribs. Oh, delicious. And, of course, don't forget all the tri-tips and the breakfast bacons and the bratwurst. Oh, my, you're going to love it. Everybody does. Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Expecting a day without rain showers. Here's a look at your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. Sunny skies for today. Expecting a high of 66. Winds out of the west-southwest right around 6 miles an hour tonight. Partly cloudy skies with a low of 38. Mostly sunny as we head on into tomorrow. High of 62. Partly cloudy for tomorrow night with a low of 39 by Friday. Mostly sunny skies. High of 66 Friday night. Partly cloudy with a low of 41 for Saturday. Mostly sunny 68. And Sunday mostly sunny and 68. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
She does a great job. Thank you, and we appreciate our weather sponsor, Scarrow's Meats. Don Scarrow and his entire outfit at 331 North Road, Jerome. They are changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time. Scarrow's Meats. Wheels, if you would, can we hear that good word for Proposition 1?
It's an Idaho tradition going back generations. Horse racing. And Proposition 1 will bring it back. Yes, on Proposition 1, it's all about Idaho, creating hundreds of local jobs, restoring millions of dollars to local classrooms, all with full transparency and real accountability. And the Idahoans sponsoring Prop 1 are doing even more, donating 100% of net profits from their horse racing operations to a new charitable foundation, the Treasure Valley Racing Foundation for Rural Idaho, dedicated to supporting education, scholarships, healthcare, and economic initiatives, serving rural families and communities all across our state, supporting programs like 4-H and FFA, and providing financial assistance to students pursuing degrees in areas like agriculture and animal science. Yes, on Proposition 1, the campaign with a heart for Idaho. Paid for by the Committee to Save Idaho Horse Racing, Create Jobs, and Fund Public Schools.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And don't forget, tomorrow is Lunch Bunch Day at Denny's, America's Diner, 611 North Overland in Burley. You bet we're going to have our Halloween costume party. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we've got gifts donated by Stoats Equipment Company, your John Deere dealer, Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more with Jeff and the crew, and Magic. Oh, I'll tell you, they are fantastic people over there at Tires West. Of course, Les Schwab with Randy and the crew. We've got some great sponsors, great gifts. So everybody wear your costumes. We're going to have the best male costume, best female costume, best mask, all of this tomorrow. Thanks again to Stoats Equipment Company, Lee's Furniture, and Tires West, Les Schwab. Thank you so much. Along with our gift certificate donors for our drawings, Walmart, Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes, Doug Martin, Denny's, all of this and more. Tomorrow at 11:30 at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. Don't you miss it, starting at 11:30. I want to say a big thank you to our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations are celebrating right now a great big fall tire sale. Save money, drive very, very safely with the best in tires, the best in tread designs, all the sizes. Like I said, big fall tire sale. Get in there today for your car, pickup, SUV, trailers, whatever. Now's the time to go in and check out the great buys on sale at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And don't forget to the best in brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this and more, but above all, the best in service. With Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. That's it for today. I'm out of here. Tomorrow, big day, Thursday. We've got all kinds of things cooking. You tune in at 8:06 right here, Zeb at the Ranch, where we always say the way things were are the way things ought to be, and the world needs more cowboys. See you tomorrow morning.